Yes. So topic of my today discussion. I never used to say that it is expert talk or something like that. Always in the research, it's a topic of discussion only because everybody is learning, and then I have made this presentation for 1.5 hour approx by separating the three things. Okay, how early breast cancer, what is the breast cancer, what is the how what do we mean by the early breast cancer, and then the role of machine learning, artificial intelligence. Nowadays a lot of people are talking to some very basics of the machine learning also I would like to discuss, and then how we are calculating the different targets or different cancerous cells, and then microwave imaging part, what would be the alternate where we are not able to success, and then what would be the alternate way to do the things. So therefore I have put the topic challenge of early breast cancer detection, efficient approach with microwave imaging and AI. As you can see that I have already started a startup in 2017, that is the Dirghadi Technology Private Limited. Dirghadi means telescopic eye. So it is for to see the foresightness. So as I have already mentioned, so I will discuss about the what is the breast cancer limitations and challenges, basics of machine learning, overall detection procedure, different electromagnetic techniques which we are trying to develop, and then the concluding remarks. So purpose of this FDP is ki what is the current state of art, what kind of different people they are thinking to solve this problem of early detection. Post detection is not a very big deal, but in cancerous case, how early we are going to detect, that is very much beneficial for all of us. And one thing I would like to mention that slides has a several some references are there, but a lot of references I have taken from here and there where the data is concerned, means what are the current state and what are the things are there. And another very important thing, giving this type of talk online, it is the toughest job, because once we are seeing the people, interacting the people, because this is a research oriented talk. So
সেখান থেকে তো হচ্ছে
are you seeing the second slide outline? Is it moving or not moving? Please let me know, because sometimes
Yes, sir. It is outline. This is
outline
outline.
it is moving.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
discussing all these things online, it is the toughest job, because sometimes sometimes once we are offline, then we used to discuss, we used to understand what are the things there, but now due to this pandemic and this is the current situation, so everything is online. So but I would like my best. So while discussing any research topic which may interest to some of you or all of you, three things are very important. First, to understand the need, what are the need. Then second, understand the what are the current state of art, how the people are doing it. Then what are the challenges we are facing. And after that, if somebody is interested, then once after the challenges, how we can get some idea to tackle some of the challenges. So in research, we are saying once you have diagnosis, a very good problem statement, then you are very near to the, very close to the solution. So the diagnosis of the problem is a very important aspect for any research. This one. So breast cancer, we are defining breast cancer in a biological cancer. We are knowing because this is a malignant tumor that has grown from cells of the breast. The most common type of cancer found in women worldwide, it happens basically due to the mutation and uncontrollable production of cell. I am not a doctor, so I have taken some from somewhere, and I will discuss the challenge. Then I will discuss what we are seeing as an electronic engineer. Here I am going to discuss the both thing. How we are going to see as an electronic engineer or as a computer engineer. So microwave point of view means all the tumor cells has a different electrical properties, and malignancies grows, then the electric constant increases or decreases, whatever be the thing. So how the sensors are seeing these cells, that is a very important aspect. So whatever be the sensor, for example, we are using MRI images, we are using the different X-rays, mammography, whatever be the thing. So, but once I will be discussing the challenge, then I will give how the microwave means something frequency 1 gigahertz to the 30 gigahertz. So American Cancer Society, it is a big concern. Approximately 30,480 women are anticipated to be the diagnosed with breast cancer in US 2011. And the latest data I will show you, which is also larger than the other kind of cancer in the females. So these statistics clearly demonstrate huge. A lot of people, they are suffering from this disease. You can see that this is the 31 approximately in a cancer, 31% is due to the breast cancer. Currently, X-ray mammography, I will discuss something in detail also, is the golden standard for breast cancer screening. It has a lot of limitations. It has a lot of precautions because a lot of radiations we are giving. Nowadays, primarily challenge to researchers and doctors are to detect the breast cancer in a very initial stage. Means if a malignant tissue is less than 1 mm or something like that, then how we can detect the thing, that is very challenging. Then if we can detect that, okay, in a very starting, then some treatment can be done or some precautions can be taken. And this demand is not fulfilled by existing X-ray mammography. These limitations are behind the motivation to develop alternative detection technique, which I will discuss in the last part of my talk. Breast cancer, cause and risk factors of the breast cancer, family history, gene mutation, late childbearing, early menstruation, so increased breast density, prolonged use of oral contraceptive. So lot of things are there. It is not only this, maybe some other factors also, but people are talking that okay, these are some risk factors where somebody can incultivate the breast cancer or something like that. So motivation, breast cancer in India, you can see that the statistics 25 years back, and red one is the presently. So although risk is reducing, so in the 20 to 30 year, 30 to 40 year, you can see that 50 to 60 year and 60 plus there is a more, and here 40 to 50 year, presently it is increasing more than this one. So 30 to 40, 40 to 50, this is a very challenging this. So we should be very careful. So this type of early detection may be helpful for screening the people where is the required. So X-ray mammography, it generally gives approximately 30% false result. I will discuss once I will discussing the this machine learning also, how to reduce or what would be the precautions to take the to see the false result. Easy and comfortable in use, detect tumor in early stage. So these are the things how we can very easily and comfortably without any this we can detect, and as early as possible. As I have mentioned that If it is a less than 1 mm, then it is a very difficult to this one, and biopsy is the toughest jobs, and CT guided biopsy people are doing, but if it is less than 1 mm or 2 mm, then it is not possible to do the CT guided biopsy. Mammography. So the following are reported: categorized of breast density, mass description in mammography. So how we are doing with the mammography, because maximum images which we are using for the machine learning and all, that is the mammography images. Shape, margin, density, and the calcifications. You can see that position for, this is a little bit painful, position for the positioning for the mammography, and MLO view is obtained with the tube angle of 45 degrees. So different angles, different things, and very painful it is there to do the view the thing and do the mammography. Features of breast cancer: asymmetric, architectural distortion. So these features I am talking once, because for machine learning we will be using the features. For microwave imaging we will be using the, we have characteristics, electrical properties, internal characteristics of this one. So heterogeneous mass, irregular margins, area of skin thickness, microcalcification, a lot of work people are doing, but a lot of work still has to be done. So so you can see that medial-lateral oblique view, cranicoidal view. So these are the views, two views, different views which I have shown in the earlier slides, how they are taking, how they are doing the things. So category of breast density, you can see that figure A, breast tissue almost entirely fatty, little granular tissue. So these are the doctors. I have not done anything, because just as I have mentioned that for any machine learning technique, anything, or any technique, understanding the actual problem is very important for what kind of image, what kind of spatial or what kind of temporal resolution we are going to handle. So breast tissue almost entirely fatty, scattered fibroglandular tissue. You can see that this is a big difference between this and this. Heterogeneous dense parami, which may obscure small masses. So you can see that heterogeneous, this one. And then the breasts are extremely dense, which lowers the sensitivity. So this type of a breast is there. Then if something happening inside this, that is the toughest job for any mammography or anything, how to detect. So when I was discussing with some doctors, they have told that this is the toughest job, because here by seeing we can't see anything. Mass shape on, as I have mentioned that mass shape, first feature is mass shape on mammography: round, oval, lobulated shape, irregular shape. So you can say that this is the irregular, this is the round, oval. So different shapes are there. So while selecting the features for any machine learning or anything, we should be very careful what kind of features, because machine learning has a big dependency on the what kind of data we are giving for the training and testing. So mass margins on mammography. So you can see that circumscribed by the sharply defined, obscured, indistinct, very difficult to understand, and speculated. So these four type of the mass margins. As I have mentioned that the shape descriptor, mass descriptors. So and the mass density as compared to the fibroglandular on mammography, highly dense. You can see that this is a very highly dense, isodense, and this is the low density. You can see that this is the low density. So different kind of images, different kind of things are there. Then benign calcifications. This is again, that is a benign, means there may be a possibility or there may not be a possibility. So lucent centered calcification consistent with skin calcifications. You can see that. Vascular calcification, Here you can see that popcorn calcification with involuted fibroadenomas. So here you can see that, and then rod-like ductal calcifications, coarse dystrophic calcification. So means different types of. You can't say that this is the one. So you can see that 4 features. Each feature has a 5 different. So you have a 20 minimum 20 different type of things. Calcification of intermediate concern, amorphous calcifications, coarse calcification. So therefore, the radiologist has a very good eye how they are predicting, how they are seeing it, and once we are using the artificial intelligence and all, so this may be one of the easiest path for the radiologist to correlate both the results, what machine is predicting and what they are this is predicting, and they can correlate that. Classic calcification having high probability of malignancy. So because benign means they have a possibility, they have the cancerous cell and they do not have the cancerous cell. Fine heterogeneous calcification. So you can see that. So distribution of calcification, clustered, ductal, segmental, scattered. So you can see that A clustered, ductal, some duct type, segmental, and the scattered diffuse one. So while seeing these things, what are the different type of images we are going to handle and what different kind of features we have to handle. That is a very, because nothing is very clear what you are going to take, what. So for that purpose, data from where we are training the machine learning algorithm, that is a very important. If I say image, what does it reflect? Anybody can say something? If I say image, what does it reflect? Anybody can say something? Hello? Am I audible or not?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Anybody can? थोड़ी थोड़ी आवाज मुझे भी सुनाई देनी चाहिए किसी की. सब लोग सोते ना रहें, हम भी बोलते रहें.
Hello, sir. It will display patterns of different pixel cluster.
Yeah, anything else? If I say image, so what does it reflect? What does
Image
it
is a
reflect?
collection of pixel values,
Yes,
and
pixels.
pixel is the smallest value that, for example, in a gray, it value may be in 0 to 255.
Yes.
If you see the numerical value. So image is basically the collection of those value, and the smallest value is called pixel.
Yeah, that's good. Anything else?
Image is a visual representation of the information.
Visual representation, very good. What kind of information it has?
Yes, sir. For example, in RGB scene, there are colors and other edges and other things. But in other,
you have seen that the different kind of images I have shown you, different kind of
yes,
features.
Yes,
One kind of mammography is there only, but what different kind of things is happening with the breast, which I have shown you. So if I say the image, so that is it has a pixel value, and another important, very important thing for the, as I have mentioned that for this type of work, how you are seeing the data, that is a very important. And what is their spatial distribution? How one pixel is correlated to the other pixels, nearby pixels.
yes.
So that is the image, beauty of the image. The pixels value for intensity of the each pixel and how it is correlated with the other pixels. So for correlation, so this is the statistical behavior, statistical feature of the pixels. So can you name any statistical features of the pixel? So like a semi-variable, because image, if I say the image has a pixel and a spatial distribution, and image has a image statistics. Image statistics, zero other statistics is mean value, median, and standard deviation. Nothing more than that. Mean, standard deviation, and the median. It is a zero order. Then the first order. So how standard deviation, what is the physical significance of mean? So using these parameters, different statistical features has been developed, like a semi-variogram, lacunarity, a lot of features have developed, which has some special physical significance. Therefore, I used to say for all computer scientists, whatever be the features we are trying to put in for our input, we must know what is the physical significance, because computer does not know what is x, what is y. Only we are knowing that what is x, what is y. So we must have the idea that what is the x and what is the y, and how it is correlated with our problem. So how the semi-variogram, lacunarity, fractal, all these features are very much depending on the statistical parameters. So and statistical parameter is this one. So these features, how we can use, because here we are seeing that these features may be very useful. The spatial variation is changing and all. Once we have a very smart data collections and data cleaning, then we can do it. So I am coming on the machine learning part. So just 5 or 7 minutes I will take the machine learning, and some important point which I want to share, that I want to discuss here, the basics of the machine learning. So as I have mentioned that basics machine learning, if I say machine learning, somebody can say something. Machine learning, anybody can say something?
So learning of the patterns from the data itself.
Learning of the, very good, the learning of the pattern from the data itself. Anything else? So yes, learning of the pattern with the data itself. So the most important thing for the machine learning is the data, how we are handling the data. So if I say the data, so what does it mean? If I say the data, what does it mean? How we can categorize the data?
Anything that can give information. For example, in images, we can learn pattern from the pixel values, and
So
in
how,
tabular data.
no. How we can categorize the data?
Based on the features.
Structured and unstructured.
Yes, very good. Structured and unstructured. Then structured data and unstructured data, and labeled and unlabeled data.
Yes.
So based on the features, we are giving the labeling. This is coming under the feature selection, is coming under the labeling. Okay, once we have labeled the data, so we can label the data on the basis of their image statistics. But image has only image statistics. What is the maximum value of your ROI, region of interest? What are the mean? What are the median? What are the standard deviation? Or what are the spatial distribution like lacunarity and whatever the thing? These features in machine learning, it is taking automatically, which you are not knowing. It is a blind. We are not knowing. So therefore, every time we have to be very careful while normalizing the data, scaling the data, doing all these things. So data is structured, unstructured, labeled, unlabeled, and here in this case, labeling is very important, as you have seen that a very different kind of behavior for a different kind of cancerous things we are seeing. So in machine learning, we are dividing the machine learning, the supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. Everybody, if I say the supervised, then what does it click? What does it click?
It reflects the
Labeled data.
Yes.
Label data. So if we say the supervised, machine is taught with the label data, with the unlabeled data, and reinforcement learning means
Learning
Impact.
from experience.
learning from experience or learning from the its environment. So you can see that type of data, supervised learning. So we have a label data, that we have a supervised learning. We are knowing the cat and dog. Unlabeled data, it is. So what does it say? Unlabeled data means
That means not labeled.
we can.
You don't know about.
If you see this image, if you see the image number 2, what does it reflect in a technical way? What does it reflect? Machine, unlabeled data. This what does it reflect? It reflects. अगर हम बोले unsupervised learning, so unlabeled data. Another, what does it reflect? और क्या कहता है? What clicks in your mind?
They are similar or not?
No. Anything else? Anything? What? If I say just unsupervised learning, क्या घंटी बजी दिमाग में? What does it reflect?
You are not providing any input. You are not tagging any input as the time of output, as we provide in the case of supervised learning, sir.
Yes, correct, quite reasonably correct. But one more technical term is there.
Without any
That annotation is not known to us.
Huh? Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So one more technical term is there. That is the clustering. If we are saying that
association.
Yeah.
Sir.
We are saying the unsupervised learning, so we are saying it is the clustering. But again, that is the biggest problem. If we have done the 2 cluster, you have made the 2 cluster, then how you can label this is a dog or this is a cat? This is again, so then we are seeing the cluster behavior or cluster pattern or cluster features, and on the basis of that we are doing the labeling of this one. So unsupervised only giving the clusters, and they are not providing the name of the cluster. So therefore it is a big challenge how to label the clusters. So and reinforcement. So this some very key point I am trying to discuss. If we have some image, it clustered. Okay, they are a 2, 3, 4 cluster, and I am not going to discuss today how we are considering the clusters, how we are assuring that the number of clusters is there by the number of targets, or it should not be less than or more than that. So all these things are very tricky in the unsupervised learning. So that I am trying that if we have just imagine if you have some image, if I make the clusters, okay, this is the non-cancerous, this is the cancerous, this is the benign. How we can say that which cluster is which one, which cluster is which one? That is again challenging task. And reinforcement, no predefined data is there. So according to environment, it is same. So you can say that training. So in machine learning, if I say, okay, machine learning means supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement, and then there are pre-processing steps where we have a good data set, labeled or unlabeled or not predefined data set. And then we have to train the things. So you can see that supervised learning, external supervision is there. No supervision, unsupervised learning, no supervision is there. And reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning means here he does not know, either he has to pick the ball or he has to kick the ball. So if he is a goalkeeper, then he will be knowing that he has to pick the ball. If he is not a goalkeeper, so according to the environment, he has to learn and he has to perform. So supervised learning, This is the for the forecast outcomes. This is a very important thing which I am sharing. This is the forecast outcome because we are knowing the label, what are the history and what would be going to be the in future. Here on the basis of the cluster properties. So,
Yes, friends.
so
You doing it?
hello. On the basis of this, unsupervised learning discover underlying patterns. What are the underlying patterns are there? So on the basis of in what basis it is making the different clusters? What would be the cluster properties? And then reinforcement, learn the series of actions, how we are going to do the actions. Approach followed, supervised, label input, training, node output. Unlabeled input, explore the patterns and trends. As I have mentioned that unsupervised is very much saying that what are the underlying patterns are there, what are the underlying things are there. So, and output will be in different clusters. So selection of clusters that you can read by yourself. But I am just trying to say that if we have a such type of mammography data, how in what way we have to handle and follow the reinforcement, follow the trial and error methods, how you are going to inside and coming outside. Output feedback, direct feedback. So known output, labeled input, so you can check that whatever you are getting. No feedback, unlabeled input, output. So you don't know feedback. But here in reinforcement, it is a reward system. So learning from the environment, then giving the reward and coming to the again in the feedback system. So here in supervised learning, there is a feedback. If you have a not very good output, then you can tune your input data, label data, and then you can get the good output. But here in the unsupervised way, then you have to know that how many clusters you have to select, and either whatever be the number of clusters you have to select, you have selected either it is in a good agreement with the data or not. All these things you have to study and you have to perform them. Popular algorithms, linear regression, logistic regression, support. K nearest neighbor. Hello.
I have a doubt regarding reinforcement learning.
Yeah.
Actually, sir, agent performs in environment through action and he gets sudden reaction like a reward or state. My question is that when he plans the policy at the time of action or after taking the action?
Yeah, that is the therefore you have to, because machine does not know according to your for example, somebody mic is off, please off the mic, please mute your mic, please mute. Some echo is going on. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Please mute your mics because if not speaking, because I am getting a lot of echo.
Participants, please mute please, you are requested once again. Please stay muted unless until you want to ask a question or you want to answer something. Stay muted.
Hello, now it is okay. So this is therefore in first slide I have shown that this is a trial and error. So you have to assume the environment and you have to say that okay, if this type of condition you have to perform this, if this type of condition you have to perform this. So and sometimes once you are taking, so how to select the threshold value, that is also a very tricky thing. So making the adaptive thresholding, okay, after this you have to perform this, before this you have to perform this. So this is again a very challenging task and people are handling in a different way for the reinforcement learning. So therefore a lot of places we are not using the reinforcement learning, either we are using the reinforcement learning generally people are using in robotics and all, but generally in this image processing things, we are using either the supervised or the unsupervised learning. So different popular algorithms, K means a priori, C means Q learning. I am giving you some clues that how the unsupervised, how the supervised are different. It is a really unsupervised or it is a semi-unsupervised that you have to think, because still we have to, if after clustering, once we are labeling the data, then some a priori information is very much required. So types of problem in supervised learning. So some problems are there. Regression is about predicting a continuous quantity. A lot of things are available in the net, or a lot of people nowadays, ML and AI are very much in a thirst area. So just I want to say that some challenges or some limitations are there. So regression is about predicting a continuous quantity, predictive analysis for predicting continuous value. Classification is about predicting a label or class. So for any benign or not benign. House price prediction, whatever you are, regression problem, where there is a prediction of continuous value output price. Breast cancer, malignant, benign, I will let you know. Classification problems where we have to discrete value, then it is again problem that it is given the continuous. Unsupervised learning, association problem. So involves discovering patterns in data, finding co-occurrence. Relationship, for example, so therefore I have mentioned that smelling the data is one of the biggest challenge. How you are smelling the data, how you are doing all this thing, because machine does not know anything. So whatever you are saying, machine will do the job. So you have to see that either bread has a relationship with gold or not. You can put the bread and gold also. So that is the things we have to think. Clustering and anomaly detection problem. So clustering involves target marketing, where a list of customers is given, some information about, and then cluster customers. And anomaly detections. So what are the, if it is a natural breast, then what are the different anomalies are there? On the basis of the anomalies, you can say that what kind of anomalies are also there. Clustering, as I have mentioned, that association is a big problem. So how you are clustering that? So that is the biggest thing. Reinforcement learning, I have already mentioned that. Various disciplines incorporating reinforced, game theory, control, genetic algorithm, multi-agent. Few applications, as I have mentioned that here, it is a forecast, it is anomaly, it is a gaming or self-driving cars or robot or something like that. So these are the some basics for the machine learning. And the most important thing is that in any this type of algorithm, the matrices, how we are going to evaluate the performance of the output. So performance of the output generally we are saying on the basis of the confusion matrix, where we have the 4 parameters: true positive, false negative, false positive, true negative. So true positive, true negative simply means, true positive, true negative simply means, anybody?
What is the actual output? Is
True positive means?
True one.
True positive means, and true negative means?
True positive means positively is detected positive. Means someone is positive with cancer and we are detecting that with positive result.
Yes, and true negative?
True negative is not cancerous person is detected as non-cancerous. And false positive is true negative person is detected as positive.
And false negative means?
A positive person is detected as negative.
Yes. So negative person has it detected as positive, and false negative means positive person has it detected as a negative. It means not detected. So there are various things. So these metrics are, it does not, for this type of case, we do not have to be only accuracy or detection accuracy or something like that. We should have to be these 4 matrices also, because our aim is we should not have to miss any case. So if it is there, so we must have to detect it. If it is not there, so we should not have to detect it. So that is the thing. So how to reduce the false positive and false negative, that is again a very challenging task. So for that, accuracy, precision, TP upon TP plus FP, recall, true positive rate, because false negative is here, so true positive rate, or it is known as the sensitivity also. So, and then false positive rate or false alarm rate, FP upon TN plus FP, negative predictive. So these are specificity. So the true negativity rate. So we have a true negativity rate, we have a true positivity rate, and both values should be in higher side. So these are the some measures while we are doing our image analysis part. So we are once we have the output, then matrices, that is very important. That is a very important how we are performing, how our algorithm is performing. So how our algorithm is performing, and then we can have some feedback system, and then we can tune or we can modify our algorithm. So applications, various places where you have nowadays machine learning is it is just like a salt. Wherever you want, you can put the salt. It is salt is just like a salt. Wherever you want, you can put it and you can enjoy the food. Machine learning techniques, I am going to show you some results. So which we have taken some data. So detection and diagnostic, we have used the ANN, decision tree, support vector machine, and already you are knowing that still how many hidden layers we have to consider. It depends upon what kind of data, what kind of features are there. It is still the trial and error method. So input layer and then the output layer is the diagnostic outcome. So support vector machine. So because once we are saying that this is the 2-level problem, either it is a cancerous or not cancerous. So whatever be the SBM trends or whatever be the different supervised learning, so they have a capability to classify in 2 different classes. For example, this SBM classifier, so we are knowing that it is a classifier and it defines a complex plane. And once it is a plane, so we have if data segregation is very good, then it will perform very good. I will show you some results after the SBM. And then the decision tree. This decision tree is a knowledge-based algorithm. So and you can see that less than 7, greater than 1. This magic value is very important. So sometimes we are trying to make it adaptive because it will change from one image to another image. So we are trying to make it an adaptive, how using the only image statistics, how we can make it adaptive. Analysis of the data set. We have used the WDVC data set, analysis of the data set. So where we have seen that because we have to label the data. So they are labeled data, but we have cleaned the data according as data cleaning, data normalization, data scaling, all these things we have done. And 38.8% of samples were malignant and the other were benign. Pre-processing steps, everybody is knowing that 80 to 20% we are training and testing. And then we have applied the logistic regression, SVM classification, decision tree classifier, MLP classifier, just to check which algorithms are very much suitable for a different, but still because I have started this work, I will come to the another part. I have started this work just 2 years before. So just we are thinking, because our aim is not to use all the algorithm, but according to the data, according to thing, we can use the particular algorithm. So we have tested. So this is the flow chart for the methodology. You can see that data loading, data set pre-processing, assigning labels, label 1 benign, label 2 malignant, logistic regression, linear SVM, decision tree, MLP, nearest neighbor, comparing the results, comparing the results. So you can see that this is the heat map confusion matrix, where you can see that it is a true negative, it is a true positive, and malignant tissue is given as 0 and benign is given as the 1. So you can see that if you are seeing that this is the confusion matrix for the log regression, confusion matrix for the decision tree, and you can see that this here it is a false negative, here it is a false positive. So and if it is a MLP you can see that there is a no false negative and very less false positive. And here also you can see that in this log regression, no false negative, but little bit more than it is a 5, here 6. So just we are analyzing the data, why it is happening like that. So for different, how the different algorithms are working on a different this variation of the data set. And for example, MLP has an important advantage that it remembers the pattern in the sequential input data and tries to apply these patterns to the multidimensional data. So that is the important. So we are trying to categorize what are the different important inside the different steps, why these different classifiers are working in a different way. So you can see that quantitative analysis, logistic, SVM, decision tree, and then the MLP classifier has in a training set and the testing set. Generally, once we are applying the algorithm, we are saying that training, for development of any algorithm, there are 3 terms: training, testing, and the validation. But now people are mixing training and testing together, and validation means the whatever the test data set. So MLP is giving, and one reason we found that MLP has a it is remembering the pattern in the sequential input, and therefore at these inputs it tries to apply these patterns to the multidimensional data, and due to the property of MLP, generally requires a large number of parameters. So maybe due to this reason, so maybe this reason this is giving some good result, but you can see that all are comparable. We cannot say that are very good or very bad, but SVM classifier also 93.75, but we are trying that why these classifications are different. So closing remarks, still accuracy is somewhere 93 to 95, but we have a limited data set now, and then but it is we have not classified it actually at what early stage we can detect it. So for early stage detection, as I have mentioned that we are planning to have electromagnetic techniques. So electromagnetic techniques that I will discuss, we are planning to develop some sensor also based on the electromagnetic techniques. These are some limitations, whatever already I have mentioned that X-ray has a ionizing radiation, very costly. And what you have seen that mammograph requires judicious interpretation by the radiologist. Many women find that undergoing a mammogram is painful experience. So that you have seen that at that time it is not a very easy, it is a very painful. And accuracy with the mammogram, somewhere it's approximately 75%. It is reported in some paper. I have I have forgotten about to put the reference for that paper. So you can see that accuracy is also not very good. So principle of electromagnetic detection. So that is the very important aspect, that electromagnetic rays which I have mentioned, that the microwave, and this microwave is 1 gigahertz to the 30 gigahertz, but which frequency we are going to use, that is important. So presence of a contrast in electromagnetic properties, and properties is that we class 12th we have studied that the permeability and the permittivity. So dielectric constant between the healthy tissue and the malignant tumor differ significantly, about the 5 to 10 times in a frequency range of 3 gigahertz. So if with the fusion of the ML and this electromagnetic techniques, if we can do something, then it is much better for the early detection and prediction also. The unique electrical signals generated by the cancerous cell. So till now we have just taken the image property, that what are the pixel intensity between 220 to 256, or we can convert it into the different color level. But it is not giving the inside property, as I have mentioned in the second slide. Once it is a cancerous, its dielectric contrast, dielectric values, internal values, electrical properties are changing a lot. So different EM techniques, detection system, pulse based, SFC. I am not. This is the basics of the radar imaging. We are calling it the radar imaging, and radar are microwave imaging. Microwave imaging means we are sending some signal, and then we are receiving the signal after interaction of the tissue. We are receiving some scattered signal. Whatever be the signal it is coming, that brings the information, electrical properties information of this cell. And once it is giving the electrical properties, then we have seen that it is if it is a malignant or non-malignant or benign, then their properties are changing. But their properties are changing in a very, very small way. So we have to develop such a very sensitive sensor which can be useful for this purpose. So you can see that just a pictorial diagram how we are getting. So you can see that how we are getting that it is a schematic. Some tumor is there, something there. So first information from the first layer, and then after that, then again it is challenging. That is therefore image processing is very much required. How deeply it is going and from which layer, because you have seen that MRI and all 64 slices, 32 slices, or different slices. So what are the different different cross sections are there? That is a very important how we are getting the data. And you have seen that I have shown that if it is a very fatty, if it is a different kind of that, inside that if something is there, that is not possible to detect with this image processing technique. So we have to apply some advanced electromagnetic technique for that one. once we are talking the resolution, so in the radar, just for this one, this is the cross range, this is the range resolution, ki how one target is behind another target, and this is the cross range resolution, ki how. So we are making a pixel. Here also we are developing an image, and this has a ki how one target is for this one, and this is showing how one target is the behind to another one. So this is known as the range resolution, and this is known as the cross range resolution. And all these are depends upon the what kind of wavelength, what kind of the distance, and what is the aperture of the antenna or sensor. That is this depends upon this one. So challenges. So because we are knowing that these microwaves are very dangerous to health. So another very important thing, what should be the power level? Power level is somewhere less than milliwatt or somewhere in nanowatt or something like that, microwatt, sorry. So therefore it cannot harm the human beings. So that is, and if it is a thumb rule, if power level is less, its penetration will be less. So how we can handle that thing? So and third important thing, as we are increasing the penetration, then resolution is also changing. So how we can? So now we have three things: power, penetration, and resolution. So how we are going to handle all these things, that is a very important thing. So all for developing a electromagnetic or the microwave imaging sensor. Challenges in system requirement, as I have mentioned that it should be the 60. These are some technical things I am not going to discuss in detail, but as I have mentioned that this is the three things: how power, how penetration, how the resolution. Resolution means we have a two resolution. If it is a cross section of the breast, so we have a one cell here, one cell here, and one cell here. So how many this resolution and what is the resolution of this? So how many cross-sectional views we are going to see, that is also the depend on the resolution. So
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Sir, can this technique be applicable for the deeper side cancers also, like esophagus cancer?
It can be. Now people are working on this technique for the esophagus cancer and all other things. So that microwave imaging, people are, the next generation sensors are the microwave imager only, because it has a very big advantage, because it is giving the electrical properties, means internal properties. Just is giving the external properties, shape, this, that. It is not giving the internal properties. So whatever be the cancerous cell, wherever it is, always it is that their electrical properties are changing. So esophagus also it can be worked, but how to put, where to put, what would be the penetration depth, all these things are there. I have just here concentrated, because I have worked for the two type of application. One is the breast cancer, second one is the brain stroke also. How we have tried to map how we can see that the bloods are circulating or going here and there, whatever is the thing. So but people are using for a lot of next in 5 or 10 years, I think that a lot of microwave imagers will be available in the market and we can do it. So it is not a big deal. But for this type of work, I have started 7 or 8 years before, and now I got a very good funding also. And with AIIMS Rishikesh, we are trying to develop this sensor, because this type of sensor has a very lot of limitations for a clinical trial. Once you are going for a clinical trial, then how to handle the things, how to do the things, that is very important. Because all the results, whatever we are predicting, until unless it is not applicable to the patient, giving not the similar results, then there is no meaning. So clinical trial is a very important thing for that. So a lot of challenges are there, how we can couple, how we can do the things. So you can see that this is the simple overall experimental setup which we have uh, simulated. I have not shown some simulation part because this is recorded, but some is unpublished. So generally, once I used to give the talk where the recording is not important. So some simulation part, but you can see that. So this is the some type of things, antenna and all other things where we are collecting the data and we are processing. And here also we are trying to apply the artificial intelligence and machine learning for detecting. So before processing of collected signal, calibration is performed, which is a very important thing. But how to calibrate whatever you are saying, whatever you are trying to detect, it is the actual one or not. And as I have said that the boundary reflection, incident pulse, multipath, a lot of problems are there. And then how to subtract from the breast to the cancerous cell, averaging method. So different methods are there for the signal processing and all, which we are using. You can see that subtraction 2 mm, averaging 2 mm, subtraction 4 mm, averaging 4 mm means subtraction 2 mm or means from the sensor to the distance of the breast. So how it is looking, the overall detection procedure. So and we are making the procedure on the dielectric characterization based, tumor localization estimation, image reconstruction using various algorithms. So that we are doing that. So what we have found that normal breast tissues have these electrical properties, and then benign breast cancer has these electrical properties, and malignant breast tissues has this electrical properties. So all they have a little bit some different electrical properties. If we are able to detect that electrical properties, then it is a very important aspect for that. So different TM breast cancer detection techniques. So impedance tomography, diffuse optical tomography, biomagnetic detection, biopotential detection, magnetic resonance imaging, MRIs are there. So some results carried out, which we have done some results. You can see that we have developed a signal processing methods, free space transmission method, tumor imaging, and then different clutter removals. We are saying that whatever be the unknown targets are there, unknown things are there, except that is the clutter. So that is another method to how to separate, how to segregate your cancerous cell to the non-cancerous cell. So you can see that we have developed the permittivity, the marginal tissue, malignant tissue and the normal fat tissue, whatever we have this one. So big difference in the relative permittivity. And then this gives us the confidence that what frequency we have to use and what should be the values of that one. So we have simulated. So you can see that the simulation is skin, adipose, transitional, glandular, and this reddish tumor. So in a software, we have simulated this to just see that what is the thickness of the different layer and how we are able to detect or not. So we have the because whatever be the signal we are getting from here, we have put in our algorithm because our aim is to detect the dielectric property of the tissue. So device parameters of the breast tissue. So we have with some reference paper, we have what are the different parameters which we have to put in this equation to achieve the epsilon D. And then we have computed this one, and then you can see that variation of permittivity with frequency for each tissue, adipose, glandular, transitional, tumor, skin, and there are a big difference between all these things. So this gives the confidence, okay, if we are going to make a sensor of 1 to 2 gigahertz or something like that, then it may be helpful to differentiate between the tumor and the other things. And similarly for the conductivity also. Loss layer wise, what is the loss, tangent loss, because once the electromagnetic wave is going, so because our aim is to go for up to the depth of the something like a 20 centimeter or 25 centimeter, something like that. So for that purpose, we are simulating what should be the loss. And then we have developed because here what we are seeing that it is a simulation behavior, the layers, but in actual scenario, this is not the actual. We cannot say that the skin is only 2 mm. It is just fusion of all. So for generating the dielectric constant, we have developed a dielectric mixing model, and on the basis of the dielectric mixing model, we have developed our own dielectric mixing model, because we have assumed that it is very difficult to define the boundary, and this gives, because sensitivity, we need a very high sensitivity, because the difference between the one layer to another layer is very less. So we should have a very good method to segregate between the malignant and the non-malignant tissue. So phantom we have developed. I am not showing that thing, but phantom to artificial, there are some method to fabricate artificial breast, and that is the phantom, and then we have developed that, and then we have tested. And this is this is in our lab method. You can see that some very crude method to just get the idea either whatever be the signal we are getting, because once you are going from the simulation to the actual scenario, then the whole things are, a lot of things are being changed. So we have tested that, okay, it is working or not. So and then we are developing our own algorithm. You can see that it is in our lab. So inside that, the water, here it is some material which has a similar dielectric of the, just like a breast, and then we have tried how we can detect it, and then we have developed our own algorithm how to detect the different things for that. So this is just I am showing that these are things we are doing. So detection of the some results I want to show you. So these are the different steps: the data collection, applying frequency domain to time domain, mapping, time delay, metal sheet, finally range profile generation. So as I have shown in the second slide, that the first reflection we are getting from the skin, then we are getting the different reflections. So we have to select, we have to know that, we have to identify that which reflection is coming from the which cancerous cell or not the cancerous cell, or whatever we are getting. According to their dielectric behavior, we can see that. So you can see that reflection peak is due to the mismatch at the boundary of antenna flare, and then we have different peaks. Very small, very intensity is very low. You can see that, and then therefore the receiver should be very high sensitive receiver. And then we have done the time gating. We have just reduced up to that distance, and you can see that this is the stronger. Once we have removed this portion using the time gating technique, then this is a stronger reflection. It is a 10 to the power minus 3. You can see that power is very small, and then it gives because it is a result from the lab prototype, so it gives a strong confidence. Okay, this will work. And then we have used some array antenna to develop our own confocal, and then you can see that measured the data, this transformation, calibration, removal of the clutter, image construction. So because our aim is to detect and localize also, and localization can be done by using the imaging. So we have a different step for this one. You can see that. So this image we have generated with our own developed software, and that shows that this has a very good capability to, maybe if everything is go right, so in 2 or 3 years we will be able to develop this sensor, because due to the corona a lot of work is pending, all the experimental work. So You can see that after the averaging, after the SVD, so different and then you can see the different scatterers we are getting, and then as I have mentioned, the different clusters we are getting, how to give the label on the property of that we are working on that, how to remove the false alarm or what is that the things are there. So concluding remarks, it is evident TM technique shows high potential to improve the detection of breast cancer. We still face major challenges and limitations. Better antennas, coupling, good algorithm. Now we are trying to apply the artificial intelligence for this also. We keep moving forward, opening new world doors and doing new things because we are curious, and curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. So thanks for your patience. If you have a question, then it is most welcome.
Very much new for me also, so I have just listened to your lecture very carefully because this is entirely different for me also. I've not touched this topic in depth, so I think now from this lecture onwards, I will try to contact you to get the in-depth, and if possible, I can start work in this also, because I have not gone for the electrical properties and then use of this property and then antenna design. Naturally, these are new fields for me also. So definitely I will also try to just have an insight of this topic. You have provided a lot of details how we can do and what actually the practical work you are doing. So thank you so much, sir, for your very, very informative talk, for sparing your time. And so, sir, we have got two, three questions in the chat box now. I don't know why some detail was there. So can I read it now for?
Yeah.
So first question is by Balarmati. She asked, by using this technique, can we able to predict the breast cancer at early stage?
Yes. Less than 1 mm. That is the main beauty. We are trying to develop such a very, very early stage. Means once it is just started. So our aim is to just it is started, then we can detect it. It is very much possible if all things will go well, because sometimes this is a totally a lot of, as I have mentioned, that clinical trials is that. So then people will see that it has a very good potential what we are developing.
Sir, another question is there. How useful is deep learning in image processing? This is a general question.
Yes.
So how useful is deep learning in image processing?
Means machine learning, deep learning. So deep learning is means once you therefore I used to ask, when you have to apply the simple neural network or simple machine learning, or when you have to apply the deep learning. Once you are going the more complex data set or more complex output you require, that time you have to use the deep learning network. So you can use the deep learning, because as I have mentioned that now we are playing till now the data stage. You want different kind of data, what different kind of variabilities are there, and then we will see that how this machine learning and deep learning can be applied on that. People are using the CNN and all deep learning, different deep learning techniques.
Sir, another question is
my again very humble request to all, we should not have to run for the words. We should have to see the data need, because the computational complexity, time complexity, cost, all these things are very much matter. So as a CS faculty, we should have to know that okay, how to reduce the things.
Okay, sir. Then another question is, which algorithm we can prefer to predict the breast cancer at early stage?
No, as I have mentioned that this is the electrical property. The algorithm is
Yes.
not till now. Till now, as you know, algorithm is there.
Yeah.
So in image processing, it is very difficult. So, but we are trying with the electromagnetic technique. So, because in mammogram and all other things, people are doing after that for the cross validation that they are doing the biopsy, and that if it is a very small 1 mm or 2 mm, then biopsy is not possible.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes, so therefore, I have shown that 75% is only the 75% is only the result of the accuracy for the mammograph and all. So that is a very tricky thing. Okay.
Someone has asked your contact information, contact number, and if
Dharmendra is a very good name, and everybody. I mean, if you put in Google Scholar Dharmendra IT Roorkee, all the information are.
just I want to ask rather that they can contact you after this FDP also or not for their.
Yes, you can. They can contact with especially writing. I have attended because I am getting a lot of mails daily.
Yes.
So once in a subject or this, they will if they can contact me. Okay, I was in your lecture or something like that, and then certainly I will reply them. And minimum waiting period is 72 hours. If you are not getting the mail in 72 hours, please ping me again.
Thank you, sir. So this was message by Valarmati. She asked the first question. So she, I think, want to continue in this field. So we'll definitely ping you later on. Sir, one question is more, how to pass the features which are detected to localization in semantic segmentation. I think this belongs to that feature detection and selection, that texture and all based.
Yes. Means,
That is
one thing here which I have not mentioned, while because if it is a machine learning you are using, then you can directly, machine is automatically taking the different features. If you are forcefully giving the features, then we used to do the sensitivity analysis. And this sensitivity analysis is based on because there are several feature reduction techniques also, but we are doing this sensitivity analysis, and this sensitivity analysis performance we are observing on the basis of the matrices which I have shown you, and according to that we are selecting the features.
So may I ask one question? I was listening to your lecture. So what I have already earlier studied is like text-based feature and all. So that is entirely separate stream. Now this is a new stream for me because I've not worked or looked into this in depth. So you have covered various electrical properties like permittivity, conductivity, water content and all. So how many these type of features are minimum required for classification? Is there any minimum requirement, or we can go?
These are therefore I used to say that is intrinsic property and extrinsic property.
Yes, sir.
So intrinsic properties are 3 electrical properties. Extrinsic properties are their shape, their density, their spatial variation, this, that, whatever the thing. So once you have the extrinsic plus intrinsic both, or intrinsic only if you are able to develop such a sensor which has a very good sensitivity, and then it can only with 1 or 2 features you are able to do all things.
Okay. It means this method will we will have the good analysis with less features than the type of methods. So this will be naturally more advantage if the good sensors are there at later stage. And sir, what about the deployment of this type of systems? So whether in India we are having a complete system till date?
No. In the world it is not there.
Okay, sir. So I have not listened. That's why I'm just clarifying my doubts. Because that's what I told you in the beginning, because this was entirely new for me. So I have not heard any sort of deployment in any of the hospitals regarding this. Not there till date.
No,
so
in the
you
world
are going to bring it in the Indian market.
So everybody is trying. Also, I am also trying that if it is possible, we can make the sensor, and because now I got the very good support from AIIMS Rishikesh, because all these medical things, without doctor you can't do anything. So that is important. So therefore, we are trying, we are doing, because in a research there are 2 things: either you are developing the whole module, but I am trying to develop the whole module, or you can develop some module, somebody can use your some module on that one. So both things are okay.
Will be very good for Indian system. So what will be the cost of a test for per person if this comes at the user level? Means patient has to pay how much money for this? So is there any calculation for this thing also till date?
It means it should be very cost effective, but because the price of the device should be in between 25 to 30 lakh rupees, and because the cost, it is very costly once your device is very expensive. Okay, and the method is very easy. So I don't think in a later stage it should not be more than the X-ray cost or something like that.
Fine, sir. Then it's good for India. It's not costly.
Because it should be somewhere in the X-ray range, whatever.
Reach the mass population. That will be the best point for this type of things.
But first it should be passed through the clinical trials, and I will.
Yes. That is there. So I think no more questions. So sir, I once again thanks you for sparing your time. So from very busy schedule. And sir, tea and lunch is due with us whenever the post-COVID situations will be there. So you are most welcome to this campus. So till that time that lunch and tea is due.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. I am leaving, madam. Okay. Thank you very much.